Subscribe now if you're brave enough to keep watching. When the emergency crew arrived, the first thing they noticed wasn't the smoke or the torn-up road or the crushed van turned sideways in the ditch. It was the bell. A steady, hollow ringing drifted from the hill above the village, slow, patient, and perfectly timed, like someone counting down to something no one could see. The driver, a local named Dario, had been found alone, barefoot, and shaking. He kept repeating one sentence, over and over, like it was stitched into his throat. They rang for me. They rang because I looked back. The village was called Varnica, the kind of place old maps still remember but GPS refused to acknowledge. A handful of abandoned stone houses, a church with a cracked bell tower, and streets so narrow the shadows touched hands. Decades ago, people left after a winter storm, a fire, and a string of disappearances that were never solved. Authorities called it unsafe. Locals called it taken. But now, for the third time in 2 months, someone had been found near the road leading up to Varnica alive, but ruined by fear. And every time, witnesses reported the same thing. The bell was ringing. Mara Ionescu, a documentary researcher known for debunking haunted stories, arrived with her small crew, Theo, a sound engineer, and Lena, the camera operator. They weren't there to chase ghosts. They were there to catch liars, expose urban legends, and prove that fear could be manufactured. Still, when they reached the village gate, 2 leaning stone pillars overgrown with dead vines, Mara's confidence faltered, because the bell rang again. Not loud, not dramatic, just a single note that seemed to sink into the bones. The air smelled like wet stone and old ash. Birds refused to fly overhead. Even Theo's usual jokes died in his mouth. They set up near the church as dusk bled into blue-gray night. Lena panned across empty windows that looked occupied, as if darkness itself had eyes. Theo placed recorders in the alleyways. Mara took notes, forcing her hands not to shake. Then they found something that didn't belong. A fresh trail of mud leading into the church. The door was chained. The chain was new, and the padlock, still smeared with wet dirt, hung open like someone had unlocked it from the inside. "Someone's here," Lena whispered. Mara stepped forward, shining her light through the cracked doorway. The beam cut across broken pews, scattered candles, and dozens of small bells hanging from string, swaying gently as if they'd just been touched. Theo lifted his recorder, frowning. There's a sound under the ringing. Mara listened. At first, it was nothing, just the bell tower's distant pulse. Then, beneath it, a softer rhythm emerged. A faint chorus of whispers, layered like multiple voices, speaking the same words at different times. Lena's camera screen flickered, and in the reflection of the screen, behind Mara's shoulder, stood someone in the doorway, tall, still, and completely silent. Mara spun around. No one was there, but Lena's hands were trembling. She replayed the last 10 seconds of footage, and when they watched it back, the doorway wasn't empty. A figure stood behind Mara the entire time, watching her like it had been waiting for her to enter. Then the figure lifted one finger to its lips, as if warning the camera to stay quiet, and the bell above them rang 3 times fast like a signal. The church door slammed shut on its own. The chain snapped into place, locked from the outside, and from the bell tower overhead, something began moving, slow footsteps circling the wooden stairs, coming down. Not running, not rushing, just approaching, like it already knew there was nowhere for them to go. The village that listens. The church grew colder by the second. Not the kind of cold that crept in from broken windows, but the kind that felt intentional, as if the air itself was tightening. Theo pressed his ear to the wooden door. No footsteps, he whispered. Whatever was up there stopped. The bells above them swayed once, then stilled. Silence rushed in so fast it made Lena dizzy. Mara forced herself to think logically. Old buildings made noises. Wind shifted weight. Fear filled gaps the mind didn't want to leave empty. She moved deeper into the church, scanning the walls, the floor, the altar. That's when she noticed the names. They were carved everywhere. On the pews, along the stone walls. Hundreds of them, layered on top of each other. Some fresh, some so old the letters had nearly eroded away. "These are dates," Lena said quietly, zooming in. "They stopped 30 years ago." Theo checked his recorder, his face draining of color. That's impossible. What? Mara asked. I placed one of these outside, near the bell tower, he said. It's picking up audio. So? Lena asked. Theo swallowed. So are the others. All of them. At the same time. The playback filled the church. Dozens of recordings overlapped whispers, footsteps, breath. But underneath it all was a pattern, a rhythm, voices repeating the same phrase, staggered, as if spoken by different people across different years. You rang. You stayed. You listened. Mara's pulse thundered. That's not a ghost story, she said. That's a ritual. The church door creaked. Not opening. Breathing. A slow, heavy inhale pressed to the wood. Fog in the air near the cracks. Lena backed away, her camera shaking. In the lens reflection, the bells overhead began to turn on their own, facing the altar like watchful eyes. Theo pointed toward the names again. Look closer. Mara did. Her stomach dropped. Some names had been scratched out, others circled, and one wasn't carved at all. It was written in fresh chalk at the base of the altar. Mara Ionescu. Behind it, 3 smaller names appeared, forming slowly, as if written by an invisible hand. Lena. Theo. Unfinished. The bell rang once, then twice, then a third time close enough to feel. The church door burst open. Not outward, inward. The wind didn't rush in. The forest didn't appear. Instead, darkness pressed forward, thick and alive, spilling across the stone floor like a tide. From within it came footsteps, not one set, but many circling, whispering, waiting. Mara realized the truth too late. Varnica wasn't abandoned. It was listening. And now that they had heard the bells, the village had decided to keep them. When the bells choose you, the darkness didn't rush them. It waited. Mara felt it before she saw it pressure, like standing underwater. The whispers stopped all at once, replaced by something worse, attention. The village wasn't watching anymore. It was deciding. Theo's recorder clicked on by itself. Playback began without a button pressed. Voices flooded the church, not layered now, but synchronized. Calm, certain. You rang. You stayed. You listened. Lena backed toward the altar, the chalk names glowing faintly blue in the low light. Her own name finished forming, the final letter sliding into place like it had always been there. She raised the camera, not to film, but to reassure herself that reality still existed through a lens. On the screen, the church looked different. Full. Every pew was occupied by figures facing forward, heads bowed, hands folded. Their faces were blurred, as if time itself refused to remember them. At the front, beneath the bell tower's shadow, stood the figure from the doorway, taller now, clearer, its outline stitched together by ringing silence. Mara understood then. Varnica didn't haunt people. It recorded them. The bell rang once. The figures in the pews lifted their heads. Twice. Their mouths opened, but no sound came out. The third ring never landed. Theo stepped forward, voice breaking. It wants witnesses. That's all. People who hear the bell and tell the story. The figure tilted its head. Theo's name on the altar smudged, then erased. He dropped the recorder and ran not toward the door, but toward the bell tower stairs, as if pulled by instinct. The moment his foot hit the first step, the bell rang. Once. Theo vanished mid-stride, leaving nothing behind. Not a sound, not a shadow. Lena screamed. The camera fell, tilting upward just in time to catch the figure dissolving into bell tower itself. Like smoke drawn into iron, the darkness retreated. The pews were empty again. The chalk names remained. Mara and Lena stumbled out at dawn. The village looked harmless in daylight ruins, stone, silence. No bells, no whispers, just a road leading away. Finally open, authorities found a camera days later, abandoned inside the church. The footage was intact, clearer than any paranormal recording on record. Too clear. Experts called it staged. Audio analysts said the voices were manipulated. Officials sealed Varnica permanently. But viewers noticed something no one could explain. At the very end of the footage, after Mara and Lena leave the frame, the camera doesn't stop recording. The bell rings once. A new name appears on the altar wall. Not carved, not chalked, typed clean and digital, matching the timestamp of the final upload. The viewer's name. And somewhere far away, a bell begins to ring. If this story haunted you, the next one will keep you awake. Hit subscribe if you dare.